involves assessing the intern. And one of the most important things for us to consider when we're assessing the intern is the evaluation tools. And so the field experiences for all practicum students require at least 4 formal written observations. At least 2 of these observations will be completed by you, the school district-based supervisor or mentor. Specific differences may arise for each of the individual pupil service programs, but at the minimum, 2 observations will be completed by you, and 2 will be completed by the university supervisor. Collectively, these evaluations will become part of the practicum student's portfolio. Each program will have a specific evaluation tool, whereas some programs may have several evaluation tools. These will be included in your introductory materials, and collectively they will be used to help evaluate the practicum student. The school or the district-based supervisors and mentors need to become familiar with these evaluation tools. And so the supervisors can speak with the students about them, and they're specifically encouraged to contact the university supervisors. It's important to review these tools prior to completing them and prior to observations. In sum, if you have questions about these tools, contact the university supervisor. In addition to formal assessments, it's also a good idea to communicate on a regular basis with your practicum student or intern and make them aware of any strengths or weaknesses that you observe. There's 2 other important points that we just want to highlight in regarding assessment and providing feedback to students. And some of these might include starting out with the positive things, the things that you see that they're doing really well. And it's important to frame weaknesses in terms of areas of growth rather than areas that they are not capable in, say. It's really important to be direct and honest to a student. In providing feedback, it's a good idea to be clear about what is essential in terms of the dress, professionalism, ethics, how you need to communicate with families, and how important these things are when they first start their practicum site versus more complex skills that may take a long time for them to learn throughout the practicum experience. So explaining how you will be evaluating the student in the beginning of practicum is also a key idea. This would certainly reduce confusion and would clearly communicate to the student expectations that you would have. So for example, if you're using a 4-point rating system on the evaluation form, it might be a good idea to communicate that it's not unusual for students to get some 1s or 2s in their first evaluation, but that the key aspect that we're looking for is growth. As part of the practicum experience, and another important component is the conference that would occur between a student, the university supervisor, and the site-based supervisor. So during each practicum experience for every student, 2 of these triad conferences will take place amongst the practicum student, the university supervisor, and yourself. Check with your practicum student's university-based supervisor in order to learn when, during the field experience, these conferences will take place and how they will be arranged. There will be some variation amongst these specific programs, so it's important to get a clear idea of when the general expectation for these conferences should occur. What I'd like to do is to provide some information regarding that triad conference in terms of what will occur. In general, the main things that would be covered in such a conference includes the professionalism of the student, if they're punctual, on time, how they interact with staff and students and such. We'd really also be interested in the strengths and the weaknesses that you've observed in the student across the different roles that students are expected to play. Finally, it's important for us to kind of give a student a plan or a focus as they're moving forward in practicum or beyond, a plan in terms of what they're really strong in, so to really utilize their strengths, but also the areas that they need to focus on in order to evolve as a professional. To reiterate some of the tips we had mentioned prior in terms of when you're providing individual feedback to students, it's important, again, to start with positive, to convey examples of really excellent skills that the students have demonstrated at the practicum site. It's important to be honest about, again, the student's strengths and the weaknesses. And this conference should really be viewed as a good opportunity for all 3 individuals, the practicum student, university supervisor, and yourself, to discuss issues that arose, again, either positive or negative. Overall, I hope this presentation was useful to you. and we really want to thank you for taking the time to mentor a UWM student. It's important for us that you know that you are a vital part of your practicum students or interns' progress as a professional educator or practitioner, and that your service and dedication to the development of strong professionals is highly valued and appreciated. We are certainly indebted to you and appreciate the service that you provide to UWM students.